If you are broke, if you're trying to find a side hustle, if you're a college student, which you're probably going to be broke, if you're trying to find a side hustle where you spend the minimalist amount of time a day, but at the same time, you can see actually like results, this is what you should be looking at, all right? And this is right here, TTO, all right? So today, I'm going to be talking to you guys all about how like the main broad subjects about what TTO is, all right? And I'm going to go in depth about everything from scaling to the ads to basically what it is, right? So what does TTO stand for? All right, we're going to go ahead and jump this right into this, all right? TTO stands for TikTok One. It does not stand for TikTok Organics or whatever. ChatGPT will always get that wrong. It always says TikTok Organics for some reason, but so I've been in this program for about 3.5 years. It was originally called TTCC. Oh my gosh. Right? So originally this program was called TTCC. All right. And then basically this was a miniature version of what TTO is. I don't know, it dropped. But basically, TTCC was a program where you could do ads for big name brands. It was literally just a miniature version of this. And so just recently they just came out with TikTok One, and nothing is much. The interface is a little bit different, but it's literally the exact same concept that I had in TCCC. And in TCCC, I remember I got started on my first account. I made, I think, $1,000 in the first month, and in the second month, 3,000, third month, 4,000 ever. And I did this program for about 3.5 years so far. So again, a lot of people I talk about when it comes to TikTok don't even know what TCC was or nor TTO. And so I'm like one of the only people actually talking about this, so I can help you guys. Because when I started this program right here, which led to this, I was just kind of getting started in life. Didn't know really where I wanted to be, all right? I was broke. I was just like, all right, how am I going to do this, right? So, but basically, I spent 1 to 2 hours, like I said, each day. And next thing you know it, 3 months later, like, I'm just like, I'm flabbergasted because I'm making insane amount of money. All right. Like I'm talking about, $6,000 to $9,000 each month consecutively, and as a 21-year-old, or as a 20-year-old, that's a lot of money. Right. So basically that TCC turned into TTO. I started scaling ads in TCCC. I found UGC creators in Europe. And basically I did a percentage split. They didn't have access to this. So I'm like, hey, I can get you an account that's already in. I'm going to get a percentage share though. All right. So I got 40% of all the profits and then 60% they kept it to themselves. All right. And in business, it's always important that you give your business partner more than you. All right. You can do 50-50 or whatever, but things like the longevity of it is not going to just stand. It's better to give your business partner more. Always remember that, all right? And I'm glad I do a 60-40 split in my agencies because it works. It's one of the best things. And most of the money I get that they make me, that 40%, I actually just reinvest into more accounts for them, for the UGC creator in Europe or wherever they're at. So realistically, like in the beginning, you just keep reinvesting your money. But next thing you know, you got hundreds, if not thousands of accounts that are just generating money and you're showing. I actually am hiring a guy soon to log in all my accounts and withdraw for me because it takes me 8 to 10 hours. Just keep work from like literally just from morning to dusk, whatever, I don't have that amount of time I can spend. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started into this. So we're going to go ahead and talk about, I know this is out of order, but first of all, let's talk about TTO, all right? So basically, TTO stands for Tick, Talk, and One. I know my handwriting could be better, all right? I know, all right? So basically, it stands for TikTok One, not TikTok Organics. I swear, I just have bad habit. But basically, with TikTok One, in order to get into it, there is so many damn requirements, prerequisites, and it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to buy for a lot of accounts I have. I've had over 75, close to 100 accounts get banned from accessing this program, and it's super hard to get in. But I found a way, right? I found a way to adapt. It's hard and it's not easy, but if you're watching this, if you want to get an account or something like that, talk to me. because here's what's gonna happen. All right, if you try to get an account and to get in TTO, so basically, of course, the market does not want to work today. Let's try to do blue. Oh, I like that. So like one, right? You buy an account and they create the pass key. So what is a pass key, right? A pass key on a TikTok account is to it will let you bypass any metrics for you to get in. You don't have to type in password. You don't need to set two-factor setup. If you set the pass key on account, you can get in whenever. All right. And so basically, there's people that sell you an account, right? You pay them like what? Let's say $1,000, close to $2,000, right, for a TikTok one account. And then this is what happens. They want to make you generate money. Okay, so you start, your first couple months, whatever, you start averaging, 1,000, 2,000, eventually starts picking up, right? And everything's going great. You don't even think about the pass key that the original creator on the account made. You don't think about it. You can't change it because it's already created, and it's hard to override it. So basically, you don't even think about it. But again, that's next what? On your 4th, 5th month, you wake up and you're about to withdraw. You see you have $6,000 in the month of June that you made from last month, and you try to withdraw, right? And then all of a sudden you get kicked out of the account. You're like, that's weird. Okay, I'm just gonna relog in. You try to relog in, the password is incorrect. The email still is there, but the password is incorrect. Somehow someone kicked you out and you changed the password. And that person that gave you the account most likely did the passkey scans. It's basically an investment for them. You gave them $2,000 for the account, and then you just generated them $6,000. And on top of that, those ads that you made will keep running. So realistically, you made them an extra probably $10,000. And just like that, you got scammed out of $10K. So this is why it's very important. If you try to get an account in TTO, this is why you need to find trusted suppliers. It is hard. I've been scammed. I've been there. It doesn't feel good. I'll bust over probably close, I want to say $70,000 to $80,000 because of people who obviously you can't trust because of the passkey. All right. So doesn't feel good, does it? And another thing too, what if you have your tax information in this account? You have your tax information in this account because, and your banking info, your social security number, and basically somehow someone hacked into it, right? And what do you do now? The fraud department, to put your claims in, you're gonna have to get another social security number. Just like that, you're fucked. You have to. It's a giant process, and it's not fun to deal with. So this is why when you try to buy an account for TikTok One, be extremely careful. All right, I've been there. I've done all this stupid bull crap. All right, all this BS that you don't have to deal with. I've done it. So if you want an account, hit me up. All right. And obviously, if you're watching this, I got probably plugged in my social somewhere, right? Where you can find the Instagram, hit me up or something like that. But number 2, you just get straight up scammed. And this is your best case scenario when you get an account. This is like the worst. The passkey is just horrible. All right. So when you get scammed, you send a supplier. Most likely they accept crypto. So you're going to go ahead and have to create a Coinbase wallet and set up your coin. If you're not comfortable signing crypto, you know what it is. It's going to be more of a hassle for you, but it's pretty easy. Once you get used to it. So that's kind of another thing, but getting scammed, right? So you send someone money, or you send someone $2,000 to get your first account. And they're like, okay, hey, I'm going to give it to you tomorrow. You check in with them tomorrow. They're like, yeah, no, I'm good, right? And then it keeps going on and on. Eventually, after a month, they just leave you dry. You just got scammed. Yeah, but let's say that's your best thing. Now, how much have I been scammed? Let me guess. I don't even know at this point. But it's pretty hefty. I want to say easily 30, 40. So in total, I've been scammed over $100,000. So the reason I haven't even talked about TTO, but I'm just talking about the requirements again. And that's just the first stage. That's the first stage of this, by the way, of trying to get an account into TTO, all right? Now, the second stage right here, this is the first stage. The second stage is now privating, proxies, VPN. If it does not have a proxy, the account's gonna get banned 1 to 2 days. If you made $300, You can't, and they ban you. There's no way for you to withdraw that money. It's just like TikTok Shop. You're screwed. So you have to make sure your supplier is always running a proxy, VPNs. Account is sees that it's being logged in a whole bunch of different areas in the world. It's gonna bring red flags, and it's not gonna look good for the account. So proxies, VPNs, and then there's also it's basically that. Those are like the main things, but also trust too. All right. It is hard. This right here is gonna be it's not worth it to get to this point. Even right here, you buy an account, you're still in the process of it getting banned within the first week. All right. Now we're on the third step now. We're not done yet, guys. All right. So the third step now, if you want to get an account with the TTO, you have to have 50K followers, right? I'm sorry, 50K. My gosh, now he went back. You have to get 50K followers. Right now it's 10, but there's going to boost this at 50K. And if you do have 10 now, you're going to somehow find a way to get 10. Now 50K, I could just bot the accounts. Nope. Good luck. Because every single time I try it, boom. You don't, like, it's pretty easy to tell if an account is botted, right? So, and on top of that, the account itself can get bandits as well. All right. So when it comes to this, there's a very special way for you to promote your videos. You look at the pay to promote. It's expensive. Extremely, extremely expensive to promote each video in order for you to get the 50K. You have to spend thousands of dollars just to get one account. All right. But the thing is that if you want to get started with this, I have a way more simpler option for you, so you don't have to deal with all this bullshit. All right. And on top of that, you got to make sure there's no tax information in it or any other stuff. And then you also have to be, in order to be in this, you have to be 18. So these are like the main 3 steps. The 4th step is trying to get in, and that's basically links. If you don't have a link to it, you're screwed. You can get all this set up, but if you don't have a link, right, a URL code or QR code to get into this program right here, TTO, you're done. You can't get in. You spend all thousands of dollars and the link doesn't work that someone sent you, right, or whatever, and you can't get in. But guess what? I had the correct links. I had the correct guidance for you to get in. Okay, because I did this. I've been there. I've been through hundreds of different links that don't work. All right. It's complicated, but I make it easy for you guys. Okay. So now that we got this kind of like the first stage kind of complete about how to kind of get in, I hope you are aware of how truly hard it is to get in. And on top of that, it's invite only. TikTok will only send invitations just through the notifications to the other random people. There's about only, I think right now there's around 3,000 creators in TTO. 3,000. Do you know how many people are in TikTok Shop? TikTok Shop is about millions of people. All right. And there's millions of dollars of revenue to be spread around between everyone, right? But with TikTok and the TTO for advertisements, right? For big name brands, mobile games, they even have TikTok Shop Cox on it, but we'll talk about that later. But basically, with 3,000 people, that means the reward share pool per each person is just insane. It's insane. And even if it was 10,000, even if it was 1 million, that would still be insane for what it is, because TikTok Shop has millions of creators all over the world. GTO, the total, has around 3,000. All right? And the thing is that what's crazy is that I think there's a lot of portion of those accounts. Out of that 3,000, I want to say like 20% of those is actually branded because of my agency. So, this is how scalable, right? We're talking about TTO is. So, who knows? There could be someone eventually in the future. It could be you right now who scales it properly, and then you can basically, in the future, if there's 6,000 accounts, you could control over half of them, or like 1.5K, or like 20% of all the accounts in this program. So in total, because out of the hundreds of accounts I have, if you combine all the followers, I would have over probably close to like 30 to 40 million followers in total, right? If you add them all together, that's how the sheer number of accounts I have. So it's pretty damn crazy, right? So now that we got that out of the way, now we're going to go ahead and go more talking about TTO. I know I kind of wanted to talk about that in the beginning, But it's important you guys know about this right here, okay? Because it sucks. This is one of the biggest red flags that I do not want you guys to deal with, okay? So for the love of your sake, time, sanity, just talk to me, all right? Talk to me. Send me a DM, and I'll get you hooked up, all right? So, I'm gonna go ahead and start with TTO now. All right, guys. So now we're gonna dive deep into what TTO is, right? Stands for TikTok One, not TikTok Organics. So basically, in this program, there is a lot of things you could do. You could do ads, right? This is the main thing right here. Ads, right? You can also they also have TikTok shop items too, which will give you a higher commission rate. But that's maybe like, I want to say like 1% is not, yeah, right now, there's not a lot of TikTok shop items, and maybe they might add some in the future. But right now, it's predominantly ads and sponsored posts. So, when it comes to ads, all right. So, what do you think an ad is, right? It's exactly what you think. So when you scroll on TikTok, right, you ever see like the ads that are like, this is the biggest ad ever, you don't want to miss out. I'm doing my voice again, that ad voice. I hate it. I've done so many ads okay, but that is exactly what you're going to be doing, all right? It could be a gaming ad where you're like, top 10 games you don't want to miss out, or boom, rate Shadow Legends, right? Another thing for ads you could do is anything. It could be Walk Fit. I just did one of their ads today. A couple of them. It's like how much you could burn calories by walking. You could do track your health one. You could do sleep ones. You could do period tracking ones. One that for women for track their periods. Like, they got everything. I'm not joking. I've done countless ads for period tracking ones. Are you a female? No. But when it comes to scripts, I'm really good at selling myself at that point where you can sell anything. So you're probably asking me, how do you sell a period tracking app if you're a guy? That's where I've done so many damn ads and so many damn revisions that I can help you with that. Like, for instance, you're not going to pretend like you're a woman, right? But you're going to be like, guys, this is a massive cheat code. You need to get your girlfriend's Flow account. You see, basically have them create an account and they'll be able to track your ovulation, and basically you'll know if they're pouty and when they're in the mood or whatever, right? And like, cheers, as a guy, this is the biggest life hack ever because it prepares you. And just like that, you just gave tons of men, but also they wrote and also convinced their girlfriend to download that. So just like that, and trust me, I've done so many ads to the point where I can sell anything. And from you watching this right here, you're gonna be able to learn how to basically sell anything. Like, sell me this pen, So you learn the tonality. All right, that's the big thing you're gonna learn. So when it comes to ad, there's three things. There's in-feed ads. Actually, right, we'd erase that, right? Because it's technically part of it. Sponsored post, right? And then we also have branded. All right, we also have branded. Keep in mind, if you're watching this, TTO is constantly updating since it's new. This is what the 3 names that have it. I don't know if in 2 years from now if it's gonna be called this, but right now I'm just gonna go overall, right? So, I don't know why, but okay. So that's TikTok Shop, right? That's nothing. So when it comes to 3 ads, there's 3 types. There's in-feed ads, braided, sponsor posts. So you're probably thinking, what's the difference between all these, right? This right here, in-feed ads are going to make you the most amount of money. Basically for in-feed ads, you create an ad, right? And then it goes out to the the algorithm, and depending on how many conversions it does, you can go ahead and get paid. You'll get paid for that. This is lethal because I've seen these, it's pretty crazy. Like, you just mess around the algorithm, right? You're scrolling and you see your own ad that has millions of likes or comments. You see that and check your TTO out. I'm pretty sure you just made a fat chip, right? So, when it comes to in-feed ads, it's just being put out to outside the algorithm. You're not going to be posting this on your page. No page. You're not going to be posting that on your TikTok account, okay? And I want to say, in this program, I want to say 70% of all these ads are in-feed ads, which make you the most money, and they're all posted on your page. So if you're already making content or something like that, right, you don't want to ruin this like your aesthetic, just do the in-feed ads. There's a setting you click where you can only do in-feed ads. Branded. What's the difference between branded and sponsored posts? They're the same, right? Wrong. But they're so similar though. So with branded, basically, with branded posts, this goes out to, this is going to be posted on that, let's say Flow, the period tracking app, all right? I'm just going to be using that reference now, the period tracking app. So basically, you make a video, an ad for them, they're going to post that on their page, okay? On their personal TikTok account. So the Flow, and they're going to post it on their page, right? So no page, Flow page, right? So basically with Flow, the period tracking app, right? They're going to be posting it on their socials, all right? So another thing too, sometimes they will take your ad and they'll post on their Facebook, their Instagram when they're not supposed to. If you see them do that, right? They're not supposed to do that, but if you do, there's a pretty easy there's a thing I can help you. It's pretty easy. You just reach out to them and you send them like this thing saying, hey, if you don't take it down, or if you don't take it down and reimburse me $10,000, I'm taking this to like the courts, right? And there's been a couple people in this program who've actually, a brand stole their ad and posted on their socials on Facebook and stuff and just kept posting it over and over, and they've gotten over $10,000-$20,000 because they contact the brands and the brand just gave them the money because like, all right, yeah, we're supposed to do that, just take the money, we're done, right? So that happens, right? There's this one chick who got her ads stolen, right? The brand took it and posted another on like Facebook. I think the ad maybe only got 500 views, right? But then she caught on early because she knew that brand had a habit of doing that. And so basically, she just sent them a message and they just paid her $10,000. So she just off one video, right, that took her 15 minutes to record, she got $10,000 because she caught other brands about following the rules in TTO, which they're supposed to, and then with time they're going to regulate it more. And if you're in my Discord, I actually talk about which brands you should stay away from. But I guarantee you, if by the time you see this, they're probably already taken off TTO. So Brandon goes to their personal page. They'll probably sponsor it, right? Well, they'll not sponsor it. They'll probably promote it, right? Now we have a sponsored post. Sponsored post will be on your page. Oh my God, where's Will page? All right. Will your page, all right? I know that is your page. I don't, we'll do your page. I need sleep, all right? So basically, that's going to be posted on your page. You're going to create the account and then the ad, and you're going to post it on your page. And then they're going to have access to not key advertisers, but like, they're going to be able to promote it. And usually with sponsored posts, they pay you a flat fee. What is a flat fee? They pay you, once you submit the ad to them, they like it, they're going to pay you $20, $50, $100. All right? It tells you how much that flat fee is. So they're also going to go ahead and pay you $20, right? And then on top of that, depending how well your views go on that video you posted on your own page, is also how much you can get, is how much you can make. So, realistically, I want to say that if ads will probably pay you the most, but if you want to be consistent all the time, go for sponsored posts, because then you can collect $20, each ad you're actually getting paid for, right? And because with in-feed ads, this is where you can make anywhere from 1 cent to like, I don't know, $32,000. The most someone has ever made on the ad was like $58,000. It's about close to $60K. For me, the most I ever made on the ad was $8,000 off one ad. It took me like 20 minutes to record, by the way. So, with in-feed ads, it's more volatile, right? But if you're a person who really wants to do, sponsored posts where, you don't really want to deal with days where you make, 4 cents, 5 cents, and then boom, you had 1,000, right? I don't know, right? Do sponsored posts. But they're all great. And most of the time, if you have an account, you'll be doing all 3 of them. Okay, like why segregate? Just do all 3 of them, right? Because there's not really an answer to which one's the best. So, now that we talked about this, again, if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments. By the way. Now looking at this, we're gonna go ahead and talk about the different types of bonuses they have on this program. So as of right now, I don't know if they're gonna change it or now, but like I said, as of right now, they have multiple types of bonuses. I think this is the reason why this program is so freaking nice. It's pretty easy to make money. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get into that next. All right. What is up, my fellow Americans? And now we're gonna be talking about the bonuses. What does TTO mean? What does it stand for? TikTok One, not TikTok Organics. I swear. Again, ChatGPT. I'm gonna keep saying that after every time I cut it. By the way, to race sports. So yeah, it's TikTok One, not TikTok Organics. TikTok One. Okay. So let's get into the bonuses. And everybody knows that I got bad handwriting. Oh my gosh, don't be surprised, all right? So, bonuses, what does that mean? Does that mean that anytime you have a video do well, TikTok's gonna give you a bonus? Yes. Does that mean if you post more than 4 videos that make over $10, TikTok's gonna give you a bonus? Yes. Does that mean if 20%, if you're the top 20% of that ad's weekly budget compared to everyone else's videos, TikTok will give you a bonus? Yes. If one of your ads make over $300, TikTok's gonna give you a bonus? Yes. Now, what if one of your ads makes over $1,000? TikTok's gonna give you a bonus? Yes. Yes. Now, that is a lot for you guys to take in, all right? But that's why I'm going to go ahead and just kind of draw it down. So there's I think, what is that? I think was that 5 bonuses? But there's a lot of different bonuses you can get in this program. You should be trying to get each one. You will be, like, after your first month, you should be getting $500 in bonuses every single month. You should. And they're building a compensation bonus too. So if they don't push out your ads, they're going to pay you $100 for each ad. So I remember when I was in TCCC, I've done over 10,000 ads on one of my accounts. And I think like about 1,000 weren't pushed. So TikTok, before it ended, TikTok compensated me on all my ads that never got pushed out. Fat check. And that was pretty damn nice. So this is the same thing, right? So with bonuses, right? We first have, the first one we have is the $200 bonus. This is it when 4 of your videos, okay, your ads, okay, videos, ads, okay, we all know what we're talking about, right? So that's if 4 of your ads makes over $10. Each one of them has to make over $10 in order for TikTok to give you $200 to your account. This is you can only get this once a month. All right? So every month it resets, which I love, right? But so once a month, you should be getting $200 because 4 of your ads makes over $10. So that means $40 in total, right? Collectively. And then TikTok will give you $200. Now, is your ads going to stop after it gives you the bonus? No. What? No, it won't. I mean, I've had one ad make me freaking, like $10. Like, I took a couple days to get to the $10, and it made $11, and then $12, and then boom, I made like $400 the next day. And then since I made over $400 the next day, what did I get? I got a $300 bonus. So that one ad that made me, that one ad right there, it reached to around $400, right? Since that ad, it reached over the $300, which is called, I think, the breakthrough bonus. TikTok gave me an extra $300. So just on this one ad, I made a whopping $700. $700. And that was also part of this right here, which I got $200, right? So realistically, it's collectively for that month, just off 4 videos, I made $900. Okay, so how many times can you get the $300 bonus? You can get this on one ad uh each and it needs to make over $300, duh. All right. And then you can only get this once a month. All right. This isn't so. Let's say you have another ad that generates you $500. Will you get this? Nope. You're not gonna get it. All right. Yeah, it sucks, but you can still yield. But it's basically $500 in bonuses you should be getting each month. And top of the rest of the ads that you do for that month, there should be no reason why you're not making over $1,000 a day. I mean, a month. Should be no reason why you're not making $1,000 a month. This program is rigged for you to be successful. It is, all right? So basically, now that we uncovered this, let's go ahead and tap into the $1,000 bonus. So with this $1,000 bonus, all right? So this one ad made me $400. TikTok gave me an extra $300 for it, all right? So over time, also, by the way, if this is a person talking. Oh my gosh, people. Okay, but this right here, if you add this, it will not be added to your original number. So let's say you're at $700. That's like how much the ad made you. And the TikTok rewarded the $300 bonus. You're not going to be put at $1,000 and just like that, you can earn the $1,000 bonus. No, the bonuses are not added to the original amount. Okay, you need it. That's what I know. That I'm glad I brought that up. Bonuses are not added to the original amount. They're just added to your phone entire. There's like your numbered updated. You'll just see that one day you wake up, you just made $300. You're like, oh, cool, right? You wake up, you see you made $651. The next day you're at $951. Just like that, right? So it's kind of random when they pay you, but they pay you usually relatively when you reach the 300 the bonus mark. So with the $1,000, right? You need obviously one of your ads has to make over $1,000. All right. So in order for you to the $1,000 it's called the CM bonus, the creative master bonus, your ad has to make over $1,000, and then TikTok will reward you anywhere from, they usually will give you around, they usually give you around $400 to $500 on average. So let's just say 500. All right. And you can get this as many times as you want. If you have 20 ads that make you over $1,000, each of them will be giving you an extra $500. So 25 times 5, that's the extra $10,000 bonuses you got, because 25 of your ads, they owe $1,000. This right here is obviously more rarer and harder to get, right? Especially when you're beginning, but it's infinite. You can always keep getting this. All right. So now we're gonna go ahead and break it down, right? So over time, right? And also, in order to get this, your ad has to be. You only have 30 days for your ad to run in order for you to get this. So let's say you're at $400, right? And then 2 months later, it reaches 1,000. You're like, where's my extra 500? Nope, you have to get it in 30 days, basically. All right, from the time it started running to when it ended. All right, so yeah, 30 days. All right, and obviously we know that you can only get these once a month, so that's in each month period. So let's say in the month of April, right? It's May, right? Let's say in the month of May, right? I went from making $20, and my ad blew up, right? In the algorithm, because I did an in-feed ad, and it's at $400 the next day. And then the next day, it reaches 600 because it's still building momentum, people watching, clicking, and dealing with that. And eventually, after like 15 days, all right, I finally reached the $1,000 mark, all right? And by the way, it doesn't stop. Like, it could be $1,211. It could be $1,311, right? And they also will double too. Within that 30 days, they will also double whatever you make after you surpass 1,000. So realistically, let's say in 15 days you made $1,000, right? boom, that's when they'll also double your promise. So the next day, if you're to make 200, they would actually times that by 2, so you realistically actually made 400, right? So this is why this right here is lethal. It is lethal and it is dangerous because it will change your life. So going back to understanding, all right? So what if one of your ads makes over $1,000, right? Well, not only do you still get that $300 because originally it passed that $300 mark, but they're going to go ahead and give you anywhere from $400 to $500. So now, off this one ad that made you $1,000 that took you 20 minutes to record and send to your editor, or you edit yourself. So let's be modest. Let's say it took you 35 minutes to film and edit this. This one ad just generated you $1,800, close to $2,000. That's your rent. That is your car payment. That is a lot of money for someone who is broke. That is a lot of money for someone who doesn't have a lot of time on their hand, who needs to find a side hustle. That is a lot of money for people who need to use for the medical bills. That is a lot of money for people who need groceries, who need to provide for the family. That is a lot of money for people who need extra income, right? To support, I don't know, their rapping career or any type of other freaking way that you could possibly imagine. This right here, that the fact that you spent 35 minutes, you just made $1,800. And this is why I love this program, TTO. All right? It's dangerous. There's only 3,000 creators in this. All right? So the bonuses right here should just tell you how freaking lethal this program is. And I'm not even done yet, guys. All right? So we're going to keep going. I'm going to explain to you about the flagship bonus. All right? It's called flagship. All right? So if you are in, that is horrible. Oh my God. Yeah, that flagship, that is bad. I wouldn't have to redo that. My gosh. Flagship. All right. So if you, flagship bonus. All right. Let's say you are in the top 20. So for this right here, you be in the top, the ads top 20%. So there's going to be other creators of this program who are going to submit ads. And you're competing for this bonus. All right? And if your ad is the top 20% compared to everyone else, you're going to get $150. All right? And you have to make your ad has to make over $25, by the way. You have to be top 25%, and then your ad has to be it has to make over $25 in the first week. Plus, let's say 1 week, right? For you to make $150. So this right here, they will also double it, by the way, times 2. They will double it and make it 300 if your ad performs very well. This is like you have to reach over $300, by the way. So if your ad was always in the top 20% for this whole entire time, for the whole entire month, it was always in the top 20%, and you just also made over $300. So you're gonna with this flagship bonus. I mean, originally you'll be given $150, right? Because you made over $25, but it'll eventually turn into $300. All right. So now, in total, right, this ad right here just made you $2,100, $2,100 of one ad that took you 55 minutes. You got the $200 bonus because 4 of your ads made over $10, which you should be getting every month, and then that same ad made over $300, right? And so, boom, right? And on top of that, it made over $1,000. So they're going to go and get an extra 300, 400. And on top of that, between 400 to 500, and also double it within that 30-day time frame from it running. So who knows? Let's say the next day, right? You made $400. They will double that, so you just made $800. So that right there just turned into close to $3,000. And this ad can remain running for a long-ass time. All right, that's how one of my ads made over $8,000, because in the first month it made $1,000, and every single month it just made me money. Okay, imagine waking up and just seeing that your ad is making you, oh, what $1,000 divided by 30? What is that? I don't even know. Like 300? No, like $30, right? So every single day, my ad was making me $30 every single day. All right, and for the next 8 months, and then eventually just compound in total. That's how I make $8,000. And the thing is that was just one ad. I did tens of thousands of ads on one account. One account. I have over 300 to 400 different accounts in this program, and I'm scaling it like crazy right now with the use of AI and also with UGC creators who want access to this because I make deals with them, right? So just think about it. This is how much money is on the line just on one account. You don't have to create a giant elaborate business. This right here is perfect for scaling. It's perfect for just a side hustle gig. It's perfect. You could literally just take one account and be comfortable and spend maybe Monday to Friday each day, maybe 3 hours in total filming ads, and you get your editor sends it to you. Or, you send it to your editor and then you get it back and then you're done, right? So you could make that just off that concept. You can make anywhere from 10 to 15K. And there's a lot of people who are comfortable making 10 to 15K each month and only working 4 hours a day, 3 to 4 hours a day, and you get and the weekends off, right? And you can make your own schedule to sleep whenever. That's pretty damn nice, right? Yeah, that is pretty damn nice. I remember I would wake up, the first thing I'd do was spend 2 hours recording. And then in the evening time, after eating, I would spend 2 hours editing. And just like that, I was making around 10-ish K each month. It's not easy. I was able to travel with this program, guys, because you don't, as long as you don't do TikTok shopped products, right, where it's being mailed to you, it's mobile game apps. You don't need to, they're not going to send you a mobile game app. You download the phone and be like, guys, today I'm playing Ring Shadow Legends. And on top of that, they give you the ads. This is why this program's lethal, guys. All right. And then also talking about the flagship program, you can abuse this. You should be abusing this, especially when you're early on, or if you're really heavily involved in scaling. So a lot of people a lot of people choose the worst ads. Well, no, they picked all the good ads, right? That have long waiting lists, right? Because that's obviously going to make them more money than in-feed ads. But nobody picks like the ads that have maybe 64 reviews, right? That they're super like small, right? But TikTok incorporate this with every single ad. All right. So you can go ahead and make thousands of dollars each month just off just picking the crappy ads because no one chooses them. Because if no one does the crappy ads, you are going to be in the top 20% of the ads weekly budget, right? Because no one else is doing these ads. Because like, I'm going for the big boys that can make me thousands of dollars, right? I'm not going to spend 15 minutes of my time trying to make a mere $30, right, in total, right? But at the same time, you make a mere $30, and just like that, boom, you're going to be given the $150 thing, the flagship bonus. So you just made $180. There you go. It's a dollar sign. That's 30 plus 150. So just like that, boom, you just made 180. And on top of that, it's a super short waiting time list. So you can go ahead and pump these out. So let's say you just made 7 ads, right? So what, 200 times 7? In your first week, you just made $1,400 doing the crappy ads because nobody does it, and you abused it because of the flagship program. Because nobody does it. So if nobody does the ad, it makes over $25. You have no competition, so you're going to be in the top 20%. So abuse it. There's people who don't do this method right here, and you can make your easiest money ever. I mean, yes, it's nice to make go off the big name ads, right, and stuff, and make a lot of money. That's pretty nice. But if you're just getting started, and you don't want to deal with the long waiting times, you should be pumping up your numbers, right, by doing this method right here. All right, and it's just the flagship bonus. All right. So this TTO is lethal. It is lethal. It is dangerous. Because the moment you wake up and because you don't believe it at first, right? You're like, oh my gosh, I just spent 30 minutes on my first ad. It's horrible, crappy ad. I'm gonna be 1 cent, 2 cents. You wake up the next day and you see that making $50 in one day. You're like, I just made $50. You didn't. So basically, In 35 minutes, you make $50. So if you were to work an hour, it's $100 an hour. That's how I think of it, right? In 35 minutes, you just made $50. You're like, that's pretty cool, right? And it starts hitting you. A light bulb flickers on. Because the next day you wake up and you see your updated numbers. You made $130. And you click your ad and you see that $50 one made you $20 next day. Like a decrease. You're like, dang it. Well, how am I $180? You see that the other ads you submitted from like 2 weeks ago are being pushed out and they're making you money. And by the end of the month, you're already at close to $1,000 because 4 of your videos just reached over $10. You get them 200, and then and then who knows, right? Maybe you might be able to get the $300 bonus, right, in your first month. It's hard because you're just getting started, but you can. All right, I've seen someone. I've had it happen to me. I've done over the most amount of money on my first month, brand new, starting out. With long ass waiting times, I remember the most I've ever made was around 3.2K. 3.2K. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen in your first month, and if that's going to happen in your first month, next month you're going to make even more than that, right? But realistically, in your first month, you're going to be averaging probably 1,000-ish. I want to say 1,000, yeah. But it can vary, right? And on top of that, this is a commitment. You're not just going to do this for 3 months and quit. Why would you? This is a snowball effect. Seriously, all right? Think about it. All your ads compiling over time, right? You do in your first month, right? You'll make 1,000, right? Because you have ads that are making you what? $1, a cent from anywhere from like $25 a month, right? There's around 30 of them, right? That you do. Next month, right? You're gonna be doing, let's say, 80 ads, right? And then the same method, you're gonna be anywhere from 1 cent to $25, right? And then you're gonna make 3.2K, right? And then next month you're gonna even do more ads. You're probably gonna do more ads because you're gonna be giving them pretty easily because the program likes you, right? So you're gonna do 120 ads. And this is right during this time right here. This is where you get an editor, by the way. And then so think about it. In right here you just made 6.4K, right? And then by the time 6 months has gone by, you should have around 400 to 500 ads making you money. At that point, at the 6 month mark, right? This is saying fast forward 6 months, right? At the 6 month mark right here, you don't have to do any ads at all. You don't have to do any ads. This is an S. My God, my Android. You don't have to do any ads at all. And I guarantee you in this month, you'll probably make anywhere probably 6 to 7K. You don't have to do any months. And by the time when it comes to in your 6th month, because all your old ads, right? Because you currently at this point you have around 200. And I'm being modest. Ads running that making you $0 to $25 every single day. But imagine if you kept doing ads for over a year straight. Do you understand the snowball effect? Do you know how lethal this is? And I didn't even talk about scaling, by the way, too. This right here is just with one account. With one account, you pay 67K. Consistently within 180 days, whatever it is. So, this is why this program, TTO, is dangerous, but it's so freaking beautiful because nobody knows about it. Only 3,000 creators. It's hard to get in, so nobody's even trying. I mean, I'm genuinely thinking I'm the only one preaching about this. All right, and on top of that, it's scalable. What else could possibly? Let me put with TikTok shop accounts, right? TTS. You can only have 5. You know that, right? With TikTok shop accounts, you can only have 5, so it's hard to scale. Then after that, you're gonna have to create a business and then put your EI information in, or have someone of your friends put their information in. You have to do a contract where you give them 10% of the profits. But with TTO, you can have as many freaking infinite. I don't know if they patched it, but by the time you see this, I hope the guy they don't patch it, right? Because that's bad trouble that's bad news for me, right? But dang, did you guys understand this? It's like a piece of artwork right here, I mean, besides my S's and my horrible writing, right? But we're going to go ahead Now that I just explained the bonuses, TTO, and kind of like the ads and how they can make you money, we're gonna go ahead and talk about the next part, scaling. Okay, and this is the part where it is hard. It's extremely, it's pretty damn hard, right? There's a lot of trial and errors you have to do, but I'm gonna teach you how I've scaling it, right? But overall, if you're comfortable just making 10 to 15K, which is it's pretty nice, right? You can live very comfortable with that. You can do this off one account. One. You want to make double your profits? Okay, just get a second account. Boom, you're at eventually you could be making easy 20, 25, 20 to 25. So, yeah, and let's say you want more, right? Boom, right? You start scaling, right? But I hope you guys definitely learn about this. We're gonna go into scaling now. Mm-mm-mm. What is that, fellow Americans or people from other countries? Um, what does TTO stand for? TikTok Organics or TikTok One? It's TikTok One. All right. Okay. I'm gonna start doing that now. It's not TikTok Organics. It's TikTok One. All right. So if you got in this far, you should by now kind of realize what TTO is. It's lethal, right? So, and like you said, at this point, you should be there's probably a lot of questions. Type in the comments, right? Or find me, reach out. I want you guys to reach out to me. Tell me what you learned. Tell me how you can get started, so I can put you on the right path, the right direction. Okay. So if you're watching this, add my Instagram, right? Find me on TikTok, which is I have the same username, Merrick, Merek. Oh, I should have done that, dang it. Now I know. Merrick Hoff May. My ats. All right. So you guys can find me at this. Just type in this on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Boom. Right. I'm always replying to the comments and stuff. So Instagram is kind of like where I take everything. Right. So I'll be in there. Ask me any questions. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about scaling. All right. So you should not, honestly, for me, you should know the program first before you start scaling. You should be reaching points like you should be making anywhere from 5 to 10K consecutively for like a couple months before you start scaling. Because if you come to this program, start scaling it fast, you don't know what this program is. A lot of this you're gonna have to teach on your own because a lot of stuff is changing here, right? But things that if you're talking to me and you stay connected with me, I can help you at the same time. So, but before you start scaling, learn it yourself, okay? Because how do you even go ahead and train someone else to be on an account that you just see created from wherever, right? Or your sister or whatever, right? Your brother or whatever. And how are you going to teach them this if you've never been in the program? They're going to ask you so many damn questions, right? So like be in this program first, right? Before you start scaling. That's the biggest thing I realized that, all right? So where can we find, how can you scale this? There's so many different topics about this. What does that mean? How can you scale? I'm confused. I don't know. Well, that's why I'm here, right? So, one, Fiverr, or we could do any platform like Fiverr. I'm just playing them out there, right? Okay, I'll just put etc. Right? There's so many damn platforms like Fiverr where you can ask for a service. There are platforms or UGC creators that you can find in Europe or whatever that want to do ads, but they can't access this because it's only in the USA. And that's where most of the money's being made, right? So if you want to go ahead and try to start scaling this, your first option is find the UGC creators on Fiverr or just cold outreaching them. Now, it's hard, okay? In your mind, you're probably like, oh, I'm going to go on Fiverr, I'll find them, and then we're going to talk, and boom, put them on an account, just train them, and that's it. It's that easy, right? Yes, it is. It's that easy, but to say, right? But to do, there's a lot of bullshit you're going to have to deal with, all right? So the first problem with this right here is that these people are already expected to pay. These people are expected to be paid for a flat fee. So for them, they're used to Rand saying, "Hey, I'll pay you $150 or $200 for each ad you do." So how are you gonna promote these guys to make ads where they make less than that, right? Potentially, right? What if one, there's gonna be every person has ads that make some sense, dollars, right? And that's it. All right. So are you gonna promote these guys to make ads that are well below their flat rates, right? And that's where you have ChatGPT to drop a proposal for you. Basically, be like, oh, but this time you can do infinite. I can help you scale it, or something like that, right? There's a lot of things you go around it. All right. Another second too is that second thing is trust. All right, you're giving someone access to your account. You're giving them access to your. They can look at your tax information. I mean, you still have access to it. They can't really kick you out or anything. But they got access to all this stuff. All right, so you have to trust them. How do you know that when it comes time to withdraw, they don't add another bank account? I mean, it probably won't be accepted because it's under the name, right? But still, though, it's kind of hard to, those are the questions you have in your mind, right? And it's good because you can't have good without the condition, without some type of condition, right? So the biggest thing, if you want to get over that problem, you're gonna have to get contracts. Actual contracts, not a double dog contract, a contract that is actually legitimate, all right? With usually with the power and attorney. You're gonna connect with them, right? And or some, I mean, in the start you don't have to get power attorney for, but definitely on DocuSign, right? Or something that's legit. In that contract, you ask them where they are, their real name, their phone number, an email they can reach out, their address that they live at. These are all things you actually legitimately need, all right? Because there's eventually over time, if they start scaling with you and you give them 10, 20 accounts and they're making you tens of $20,000 in profits, you just created a business, right? And you need to keep track of all this stuff, right? And also, you also are going to have to usually most of the time they're going to be reliable to pay the taxes on their own. All right, giving them a 1099 form is not really going to do much for them. Basically, it's for your sake to tell the IRS that you actually have an independent contractor outside the U.S. and not a person in the U.S. Because if you're in the U.S., you have to give them a W-2. You are 100% have to find a person W-2. So if you can find a person outside in Europe or something like that, or, this is where Fiverr is perfect at. But people in Europe also have accents. Super heavy accents are going to give you tons of revisions. A revision in this program is like, they are not, you do an ad for flow, right? They're like, they can have accents like this. Well, they can be like, flow is a really good ad. You should definitely download it. I mean, we know what they're saying, but the ad would be like, why do we have someone who has an accent, right? But at the same time, though, there's plenty of people in Europe who don't really have that heavy an accent, right? And you could do something there, all right? So, and then on top of that, it's a lot, right? You're gonna have to train them. It's gonna take time, okay? Another thing too, right? We have college. Lethal. So you can go ahead and go I don't know if you're a introvert or not. Go to a college. You can have college students be on an account. All right. And you can obviously, like I said, for all these, I think I do a 60-40. All right. I give everyone 60% of the profits and I get 40%. The 40% I end up reinvesting, getting more accounts. Eventually, after so much time, I actually start profiting, right? But it's totally worth it because it's just exponential. So, another two accounts can get a ban too, by the way. By somebody training with people, if they're not on time, if not uploading correctly, if they're not doing the revisions, or they use something really, really stupid to get the account banned, like cussing in an ad or something like that, boom, the account's bad, right? Well, not cussing in an ad, but like that's pretty minuscule. As you'll probably get revision max. But like if you do something stupid, like if they post them butt naked, right, twerking, right, I mean, what do you think's gonna happen, right? So, the account's banned. Just like that, you just lost thousands of dollars that you just spent on this account. It's nice, isn't that right? It sucks that you actually have to take a risk when you want to build a business, right? So, when I'm talking about college, the same rules apply. You're gonna have to train them. You should probably get them 60-40 split. The split decision is your own. I know people who would love to just give these guys 30% of the profits, and then they get 70%. But in business law, you learn you should always give your partner more. And longevity wise, I mean, if you give them 30, 70, right? They're not going to be motivated to work for you or work under you for a long time. They'll probably maybe 2 months and they'll be like, I'm doing the work. I'm only getting this amount. Why not do this, right? When I could do something else, right? But if you give them 60-40 in the get go, they're going to be like, well, they value me more. They're using the money for me to get more accounts, you know? You should be building a trustworthy. In the first couple months, this is where you build trust. All right. The trust is the biggest thing, especially when you have these people, do not, if you want to be toxic, go ahead and see how far that gets you. It does not look good. So if you find people, right, treat them with respect and not just don't view them as just your slave or actually treat them like people. They will know if you have the mindset of just treating them like they're just some type of tool. They'll know, and they're not gonna like it, and then they're gonna fuck with you or some shit, right? So treat them with respect. They're a partner. You should be viewing these people as a partnership. You should, okay? Because both of you guys wouldn't be able to make the money if it wasn't for both of you guys. So don't just, I think 60-40 is perfect. Honestly, you can even do 55-45, and then obviously you get that, right? But in the beginning of my agency, I'm actually getting them 40% in the beginning, because that's when they're prone to make more mistakes, right? So the thing is that I need to be in the first 2 months, as long as I know that they're actually taking this thing seriously, then over time I give them 60%. But the first 2 months I get 60%, so I can kind of save more just in case they get the account banned, because that's when stupid stuff happens, mistakes happen. So, but as long as you know that over time that they're able to get 60%, good stuff. Psychologists, you can find them. You have to train them. You are gonna have to give them a W-2. Well, I take that back. There's ways around this. They can still actually be an independent contractor. You could pay them under the table too, by the way, if you know them, so you don't have to pay taxes, right? Well, I don't know. When it comes to this is where you got to be kind of careful, because in your base statements, it'll just see that you actually sent them the money, right? So I don't know. I don't know. I think definitely a 1099 form is probably your best bet at the end of the year. They're not a W-2. What am I talking about? They're not employed under you unless you actually have the legitimate business and whatever, right? You're not giving them health insurance. So probably 1099, right? So when it comes to number 3, how you can find people, this is something that I'm starting to do right now. It has worked. It is dangerous. It is risky. And by dangerous, I'm not like sounds like Mission Impossible dangerous, like the world ending. But it's like dangerous because it puts me at a super heavy risk. The amount of investing in time and the amount of effort that I'm putting into this, it's a lot. All for it not to work, right? So what is the third option possibly? With me already, we can be college. You can ask ChatGPT ways you can scale this, right? But after so much people of different ways, that need this, right? What's your third option? Right? I mentioned it earlier. It is AI. Basically, with AI, you can make ads, UGC content with AI. So there is platforms like Captions, HeyGen, all right, where you can do this. Be very careful. If you are lazy, if you're with your script writing, if it sounds very robotic, if the voice is monotone, if the AI avatar you're using is just straight up shit, congratulations, you just wasted thousands of dollars because this program does not like AI at all. They want real people. All right. So if you're using AI, right, you have to be very careful. Some briefs too, some ads, specifically briefs, state they do not want AI. But the thing is that most of them don't really care, because at the same time though, if you edit it so well and you make it so well to the point where they can't tell, and you're giving them profits, people are clicking and downloading and subscribing, who's in the wrong? Right? Oh, you're in the wrong there because another person could be made, what? This is business. You have to adapt, okay? So you couldn't use AI, right? Be very careful. There's captions, platforms like captions and HeyGen. HeyGen is nice because you can go ahead and invite people and create a team space. With that is super nice. Like you can actually create a HeyGen account and you can invite people and you can see what the projects they're working on, right? My phone just died and I was speaking basically to a dead camera for like 15 minutes. So now that charger came back down, what does TTO mean? TikTok one, not TikTok Organics. But like I was saying, so HeyGen, basically you can have a team, right? It's you can oversee everything, which is super freaking nice. And on top, you can see what your editors or the people who work underneath you is doing, right? And then captions is you have to like pay it. For me, when I get started in this, I paid the person who was creating the AI avatars. I just paid him like $10 every month, right? I also talking about up here too. You can pay people via PayPal. Oh my gosh. PayPal, Wise. Oh my gosh. Crypto. I'm gonna lose it, guys. Crypto, right? PayPal, Wise, Crypto. Crypto's super easy to set up. Create a Coinbase wallet account, and then just create crypto. Because most people, editors, people, especially in other third world countries, PayPal is like the biggest thing. Wise is gonna save you too. Same with PayPal. There's tons of options too. In the U.S. college gyms, you could do Zelle, which is pretty cool. Maybe you can get away with taxis too if you use that. There's lots of different ways. Look up chat on ChatGPT. Just look up, ask which one benefits you, right? So, when it comes to AI, be very careful on how you post it. So again, you could have done, it's very risky. These things it could pay off, right? But like I said, you can make $1,000 your first month, and the second month you're at 2,000, and you can get banned because they realize you're using AI. So this is very risky. Right now, I would, if I were watching this, you could take the risk, but it's going to be, I think it'd be better if you started organically, and then over time you start incorporating and using the money you make off of organics accounts, right? You can eventually use it to fund your AI stuff. So that's what I definitely recommend. And over time, you'll see, I'll tell you how my AI journey is doing. But right now, I'm just gotta definitely be careful. Yeah, I didn't just scratch my butt, by the way. That was okay. But basically, now let's talk about a GPT. What is a GPT? A GPT is basically it's not Chat GPT. It's not the software OpenAI. A GPT is on Chat GPT, but it's basically a chat box. So you know how there's chat boxes for investing, or like you could click on one and explain what your dreams mean. This is basically what those are all GPTs. You can create your own one, and I created one, guys, where you could type in a script for TTO or TTO TikTok Shop, right? And then it can go ahead and give you a perfect script for that product, or that mobile game you're talking about. You can customize it. It'll tell you how long, what's the vibe, right? All that. And then the punctuation on it is really good because for GPT, the reason I created it is because if you take a normal script and paste it into HeyGen or captions, it's gonna sound like this. Guys, you won't believe this. This app is revolutionary. Wow. It's gonna be like that, right? But if you use the punctuation I have in my GPT, it's gonna elongate the words, it's gonna add commas, it's gonna add periods, it's gonna add capitalizations and add like sound effects to it, basically. So it's gonna be like, guys, you won't believe this. This app is insane. It's called Flow. And then you'll hear him breathe and stuff. It's way more realistic if you use me on GPT. And I coded it and I spent hours making it. And I had ChatGPT help me create it, right? So it's kind of a little cool thing. Right? So now where can you find people to do this stuff for you, right? I can't even draw an arrow. What is this, chat? Okay, that looks something. I don't know. Okay, that looks like a. All right. That okay. That's it. Oh my god. Okay, so, where can you find people who do that, who can help you do this? Your personal VAs. VAs are like basically your assistant, right? I call them VAs. And basically your editors, people that can do all your work for you. You know, you can find in a Discord group called Media Mentes. This is a gatekeeps. This is where I find Edward. If you want to find editors, people you could put on to this, do the AI stuff with you. Of course, you're have to train them. It sucks. Yeah, no, I mean, you actually have to, train people if when they don't know what to do, right? So basically, yeah, like I said, I don't, yeah, I don't know what I wrote there, to be honest. But this is Discord, by the way. My God. So this is so this is like Discord. Discord. This is Discord, by the way. So this is called Media Mantis. If you want the link, hit me up on Instagram right here or comment below, right? And I can send you a link on it, right? So without thinking, guys, if you have any questions, find me this right here, right? All right. I to find me. Like you start conversation with me. I want to help you guys get started. I want to put you guys on the right path so you don't see scammed. You don't have to deal with all like the 20 different steps and be all this stupid stuff that when it comes to getting account stuff. So I'll put you guys in the right direction. All you have to do is find on Instagram, Merrick Hoffman, or TikTok, right, and send me DM, right, and we'll definitely start talking. I'll put you on the right path. So like I said, so when it comes to all of this, right, this right here is the most riskiest. All right, AI is gonna be the most riskiest. The second one that I think is a lot easier to scale and a lot easier to find people is actually this right here, the on Fiverr or other services where where you can find UGC creators. You can also just do the cold DM stuff as well, just hit people up, right? You can do that as well and take more time out of your day, right? And then you also have college, right? If you're in college right now, if you have connections to college students, why not put them on, right? Get a contract set up the two brokers right here. And for this one, you're probably fine, but for this two, right? Since yeah, absolutely. So it's a little difficult, getting started. Like I said, it's difficult. It really is, especially if you're starting to scale. So let's say before you start scaling, you just need to get one TTO account, and learn yourself. After a couple months, but you start making revenue, you understand all the bonuses and all this weird stuff where it's in-feed ads, sponsored posts, and see what you can do. Then you can start incorporating this or scaling. But in the start, you need to do it yourself. That is, I think most of you kind of agree with me, unless you already know how to do TTO, right? So, other than that, that's basically kind of what I just mentioned. And like to give any questions, find me on Merrick Hoffman. All right. So if you're watching this right here, this is a sign that if you got all the way to this point that you guys are interested, that you want to hear, obviously want to keep learning more about this, right? So if you're watching this, and for you to support me, please subscribe, all right? Follow, like, subscribe, comment, engage in any way, please, all right? Tell me ways I can improve my content, right? Tell me, I don't care, right? Even if it's a hate comment, I get plenty of those, right? So, like I said, it really does mean the world to me, if you guys subscribe, all right? You guys subscribe, click notifications, so every time I post, you see it, because this is free information I'm giving to you guys for free. You're not paying for this. It's 100% free, all right? Nobody else is doing this except me, especially in the TTO area. So that's what I mean. So like I said, follow, subscribe, guys, if you want for more. And each week, I'm going to try to do my best to get one video out to you guys, okay? So it's a lot of stuff. I know there's already some questions, right? And you guarantee you, if you're watching this, you probably haven't seen a structure like this ever before. And I'm like the only one. I genuinely think I'm the only one actually scaling this. I think I'm one of the first people to do this. So, if you guys want to do questions, like I said, you know where to find me. Make it happen. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. It's TikTok organics, not fuck me. Just yeah, it's TikTok one.